Okay, well, let's get started. First of all, thanks for jumping on. I kind of just went through your what you filled out for the Diamond Questionnaire, which was very helpful. So, why don't we just start with why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and why you signed up and kind of where you're at now?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 years ago, I was working kind of that corporate job, like 9 to 5 in a cubicle situation. And I had met Lisa actually when I first moved to Atlanta. So I moved to Atlanta in 2012 after graduating college. And I really wanted to write. Those were kind of my passions. The arts have always been a big passion of mine. I did my internship here. Also, just my internet's really unstable. So if I just freeze in the middle of something, just kind of let me know. Just letting you know. So I met Lisa in 2012. We became Facebook friends. We talked a little bit about the opportunity at that time, but I was working 3 jobs, super broke, single, by myself, trying to make it. So I was like, not right now. So 4 years went by and I was working this corporate job. It was very sucking to me. I'm a really creative person and I love to be creative. And it was very much a corporate, same thing every day kind of job. And it was I don't want to say depression because I think that kind of negates how serious mental illness is, but it was definitely a funk that I couldn't shake for about 6 months. I hated my environment. I worked with all men, so I had to be this super strong, powerful B word, which is just not me. And I had to work around cars and talk about mechanics and just stuff I could care less about. And it was really affecting me, and it was affecting my relationship so much so that my fiance and I almost broke up and we spent time apart because I was so miserable in my life. So I had kind of that moment in January of 2016, 2015, I don't know, January before I signed up. And it was just kind of that moment where I hit a wall and I knew something had to change, but I didn't know what. I had a total breakdown. I broke up with my now fiance. I was like, I'm moving out. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm so unhappy. I just don't know what to do. And probably 2 weeks later, I see a picture Lisa posted on her social media. She was like out and about with Paj in life and like going to lunch on a Thursday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want that. I want to be able to like go to lunch on a Thursday and go see a movie and like have popcorn on Thursday afternoon. Like who does that? And so that's whenever I contacted Lisa. I signed up maybe 2 weeks later. I was interested in the health and fitness portion. I've always really loved health and fitness. I had gained 20 pounds, but that was kind of a byproduct of why I signed up as a coach. I really wanted to build the business. That was kind of a priority. Through my coaching journey so far, I feel like when I started, I kind of hit the ground running, I would say. I a lot of people. I was expanding my network as much as I could. But I was really focused on challenge groups versus building a team. So I built a team really quick of discount coaches that disappeared in 4 months. And that was kind of 2016. That was kind of what hospitalized for a chronic illness that I had, and I was in the hospital for 4 or 5 days. And when I came out of the hospital, I had this realization moment that I do not want this job anymore. I got chills just saying that. I do not want this job anymore, and I have to make a difference because I hate what I'm doing, and I can't go another day doing it. But I have student loans to pay. I have bills I have to pay. And that was when I decided, I think maybe a month later, I texted Lisa and I was like, I'm quitting my job in March no matter what. Even if I'm making $5 a week in Beachbody, I'm quitting my job because I just need something different. And so that was kind of when I switched gears and I started finding builders and growing in that sense. And then I quit my job, and then this past summer just was really crazy. And now I'm in this place where I have discount coaches, builders that are kind of half interested, and I'm been super distracted by shiny objects like, learn this and do this, and never have to message anybody again, and this is how you can. And like it's just totally derailed me, I feel like. So I got to diamond like 2 months ago by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Like it was definitely, it's not a strong diamond base that I want. And that's kind of where I am now. Ooh, that was long.
So you just hit diamond 2 months ago for the first time?
Yes.
First time? Okay. Okay. So how long were you at that job? And then what was your role there? Like, were you?
I was here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you freeze up, so I couldn't tell if you froze up or you were hesitating.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I was there for 2 years.
Okay.
No, 3 years. And I worked on the retail side of the business. It was a enterprise rent-a-car. So I worked on the retail side where I rented the cars out, and then I was promoted into the corporate office. And I worked in the vehicle repair department where when people would wreck the rental cars, I would coordinate the repair for those.
So desk job, computer, calls, and then you're saying you're not that person. You're the people person?
Yes.
Are you a Sapphire?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what did you do before that? Like, what's your background?
I retail. That's what I did mostly. I sold wedding gowns for years when I first moved to Atlanta, at various bridal boutiques. I've worked as a freelance writer. That's kind of what I do now to make ends meet. I worked as a freelance writer for 5 years now, probably. That's kind of done.
So those two are mainly what you've done up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Outside the job you didn't like that you, okay. So freelance writing, explain that to me. Are you writing for websites or what?
Yeah, I do copywriting, so I'll write copy for different websites. I think I froze again.
It doesn't matter if you freeze, it's just sometimes you cut out and then I'm trying to like piece the words together.
Okay, did I freeze again?
I got that you write copy for websites for companies.
Yeah. Shifted majorly to, I work mainly with real estate agents right now, writing property descriptions for them, blog posts. Like blog posts are kind of my thing. Kind of where the bulk of what.
Yeah. Is there a way you could get on your phone and get on this link?
Yeah.
See if that, I don't know if you can use like your cell phone provider, because mine does the same thing half the time. I don't know. I think my desktop has too many things on it.
That's a smart idea. I never thought to access from
the phone.
Yeah.
I have to do it all the freaking time. Hi.
I miss
you. You're supposed to say you look younger, Kristina.
Oh. I don't think she heard you.
I can't.
Oh. I didn't hear you. Hey, sorry.
Oh, I don't have the app. I need to download the app, don't I?
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you write copy for companies. Your expertise is blog posts, so they give you the content and you write the blog posts, mostly for real estate agents. And then how long did you do retail?
Since I was 15. That's
okay.
Like 12, 13 years.
And what would you say your network is right now? Who is the bulk of your network?
I would say 22 to like 35 college grads in college. Yeah, that would probably be the bulk of the people that I know.
Courtney is also a drama major in dance, right?
Oh, yeah. I studied theater and dance in college.
Okay. Okay. So most of the people on your Facebook were already on your Facebook, I'm guessing then?
About 1,000 were, and then now I have about 2,000. So I guess another 1,000 will be people I've added since I started coaching.
And who are you adding?
I'm mostly adding like that age group I was saying. Like I look for in their late 20s through creative groups.
What does that mean, creative groups?
Like freelance writing groups, play loving, theater loving groups, film groups.
Okay.
I think I have it to where I can open it on my phone now.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
I'm muted and I'm sitting here talking. I'm like, oh, there it is. I was going to say you could also just dial in the phone number too. Is that what you just did? Oh, there she is.
So you might need to close out the other one, or I can remove you if you can't. And then I can't hear you on your phone yet, so you might have that muted.
We can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you. Usually on the phone, I think it's like the bottom left.
Yeah, it's in a weird spot.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take you off the other one. Let's see. That should kick you off so it doesn't confuse you. If not, if you could just X that out on your computer. Or no, because you're still on the other screen. But okay, so what we're trying to do is figure out your network, your buckets of people, and then how to serve those people. So you said college grads, those in college, and then you've been adding people that are freelance writers and then like theater majors or people in
yeah.
Okay. So tell me how, and I realize these are different groups of people, but like tell me how what you do, for example, as a freelance writer, how do those skills transfer over to what you do as a coach?
So basically all of my posts that I put on Facebook are long form copywriting, like writing words that sell, thinking about pain points, writing headlines that are catchy, which is all you do as a writer is study what the psychology of words are and how they affect people and how they create emotional responses to buy things is the end goal, or to join you or to follow you. So I think those would be the main skills that transfer over from writing to what I do.
Yeah. So that is really cool to hear you say that, because just not being a copywriter and then going through other people's trainings where they're teaching multiple things and then talking about these things makes sense that is all a part of writing. Yes, if that made any sense. Because sometimes everything we learn in this business kind of just gets thrown into this big bowl. You know what I mean? I don't know if that made sense, but okay. So here is here's a key question. So you have all these freelancers like that you're going in these groups. Are you connecting with them in a way to show them how they can use their skills and what they're doing in the coaching business?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
That's your money. Your other money is, number one, you should be teaching the team how to do this. Like I hired a copywriter to write things for me.
Yeah.
And it was very expensive.
Yes, it is.
On the list. We've already talked about it.
And then I seen what she wrote, and I was like, well, I could have wrote that better, because sometimes because it's your own voice, right? So the coaching business, like the basis of it is network marketing, it's health and fitness, and it's building a team. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you have to find your strength within that and then own that strength. So we're talking about your tribe, your skills, and how you reach them, how you add value. So writing things down about, like, a brain dump on paper would be, why would a freelancer want to become a coach? Why? Or how, or would they want to become a challenger? And kind of like brain dumping those thoughts on paper first. So like, I have no idea. That's not my world. Is that, are freelancers mostly subcontractors, where it's just like you get jobs here and there? It's not consistent income. They don't do it full time. Maybe it's like emotionally exhausting type of a job where they love it, but they could only do it for so many hours and they want to do something else. So brain dumping that out on paper, because hello, you know how to write copy to the pain points. What are their pain points?
Yeah.
And why they would look at coaching as a business or even to become a customer. Okay. And then it sounds like your strength is social media posts and blogging. And did you say video somewhere too?
Yes.
Okay. So your method to share this would be one of those three things, or a combination of all of them. So you have to figure out a way where you can do that. So, I mean, yeah, you can just share on your Facebook, but maybe coming up with a series on your blog, or every Friday you go live for this group of people. Like, I don't know, those are just ideas, but you basically want to, and it's not just about like why they should become a coach, how they can become a coach, what skills they can transfer over. A lot of that's going to come just in your story, and that's probably not the story you're sharing right now. Mm-hmm. So that's a different story of the success you've gained so far. A lot of it has been due to just using your skills from what you did over here and bringing it over into the coaching business. And this is how you've reached people and how you've helped people and how you've gotten to the point where you're at right now. Mm-hmm. So like, that's another way to share it. So you just have to really sit down and kind of get creative with different ways to share this. But then what else can you just share to freelance writers that's valuable content to them? You know, is it tips on blogging? Is it tips on photos? Is it tips on whatever? Like, that's what I would brain dump. Because if that's one of your buckets of people, if you have these people in your Facebook friends, but they're kind of just in this hodgepodge of people. So I don't know if you're doing Cody's training right now, but one of the things he teaches is like to call out your people. So when you're doing a post or whatever, a blog post, a Facebook Live, here's who I'm talking to. This is for you if. You know what I mean? So when you're talking to these people, they need to know you're talking to those people. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes.
So figure out a way where you can add value and serve them, but also tie into why and how they could become a coach, and not only why and how, but how they would be successful and why you would be the right person to be their coach, because you would be able to teach them those same skills that they already have and just take it into this business.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Okay, so that's one bucket.
Yeah.
Which is a big bucket. So now what do you think? Do you have another bucket? Do you have, like you said, you go in and you add like the theater and the dance? Is there anything there as far as like if you were a theater and dance major, is there any skills that you're using in your coaching business from that?
Yeah, absolutely. Live video. All of the things that I do when I do videos or share are all from, because I'm super introverted and I learned to be outgoing through theater. So all of that has been like kind of this person that I've created, I guess would be the best way to put it, to do these videos and to stand up and talk in front of people. You know, you kind of have to like get in that zone. And that's what I learned through that. So I think a lot of my creatives bucket of people really connect with that. And it's also very sparse as far as jobs go. I have a couple of friends that have been on Broadway or they're in between jobs, that same kind of vibe where it's not I'm going to be making this every single week. But this is definitely something that they could do in the meantime, in between time. And an hour break in your day, you know, whenever, if they are on Broadway or if they are, you know, working at a school, because that's a lot of them, they had to kind of go back into teaching realm if they're not booking gigs.
Or even, are they people that would want to watch, like they're conscious about their physical appearance too?
They have to be, yeah.
So even running challenge groups that are specific, if you have that bucket of people, like challenge groups that are specific to them, like looking at their schedule, and if you like, are they people that are going to work out? If not, is it just a nutrition challenge? Is it, so really just thinking about that person, and they have to like know that you get them. They have to feel that and know that through your copy or through your video. But I love that you said that you are actually introverted, but through theater you learned how to be outgoing, or even like this avatar, right, on video. That's just a great live topic or a blog topic. It could be both, but it probably should be on video since you're talking about video. And here, even if you've never been in theater before, here's 3 tips if you are introverted on how to captivate your audience, you know? That's something for anybody too. That's something for your team, your coaches. Your coaches are all afraid to go live on video. Either they don't know what to talk about, they are shy, or, right? Like it's one of those things. So like that's something that if you feel confident in that, and you know it was literally like a mindset shift, or if it was like these tips that helped me, or like you said, it was me getting into character of the person that I'm trying to attract, because that's in our business, that's what we do, right? You're becoming your avatar. So that would be a great training for your team, but it would also be a great live, like for everybody and for everyone to start to go like, oh, and being a leader teaching on video. And you're not saying like I'm the best or I'm awesome or amazing. You're saying, no, I was totally introverted, and how many years ago I would have never have done this, and here I am, and this is how I learned it, and here's some tips so you can do the same. Like that's what you're doing. You're just being you're being real. But then again, how do you connect it to that audience of the theater and dance major? So maybe coming up, brain dumping on paper, what their challenges are. Those would be great coaches, but they also could be challengers. Everyone could be challengers, but it's like targeting an audience for that challenge group and calling it out, you know, coming up with a name and theming it, and this is who I'm looking for, and if this is you. And does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So I wouldn't do these all at once. I would kind of like pick one and brain dump it all out on paper and map it out. The college grads, and then in college, is that just a random group of people?
It's mostly my network from college, and I was in a sorority, so a lot of our sorority gals will friend alumni, and so I just have a lot of them on my page.
And then the whole wedding dress thing, is there anything that you can do with that?
I do have a lot of I've connected with a lot of my brides since I went through like David's Bridal when I worked there. Like my Facebook was on my card. So I'm friends with a lot of them, but most of them have already gotten married or they've already had their wedding. And I'm also going through wedding planning myself right now. I'm getting married next year. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Italy.
Yeah.
Huh?
She's getting married in Italy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bucket right there, right?
Okay.
Wedding, getting married, bridal boot camps. It might be closer to that time. So just think about it. I think you kind of know what I'm doing now, so you can think about it yourself and see if any of that makes sense. But the bottom line is you're just taking your skills of what you kind of always have done and what you've put years of experience in, and transferring it over into this business, and then looking at like the buckets of people you already have or that you're continuing to add to your business or your network, and looking at how you can just personalize this to them so that they feel like you're the perfect person to join. And there is no competition. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it with you. So you really have to set the stage for that. I also liked what you put down, and I know you're going through a chronic illness, so you're going through some other things too. So you kind of have to decide. I'm just giving you ideas, but you really have to kind of sit down and decide like what makes the most sense for you. I like that you wrote down that you were in a sorority, like you like the fact that you want to build a safe place for women to feel confident and beautiful. When I was in college, I created women's groups where we would meet and talk and work towards better versions of ourselves. Then I joined a sorority to do the same thing. Now I feel like Beachbody gives you that platform. Are you doing anything like that in here? Yeah, see, so I don't know why we all do this, because it's like we can't figure out what we're good at. And it's like, I do the same thing. So I get it. So maybe that's your third one. Maybe that's your third bucket. If that's like your thing, you've already done it. Write down, what did you do already? Like what were the topics you used to talk about? What were the struggles that most girls were going through, most women were going through? Like, what did those conversations look like? If you were to open a community, a free community that would mirror that, what would be like the first 10 lives, or the first 10 blog posts or the first 10 videos? Like, what would those be? Because whatever it was then, it is now. It's the same, except maybe it was like college life and now it's married life or like whatever. But like for the most part, it's usually like the same things that you're going through. And if you found confidence in doing that and that filled you up, then it's just taking it over here. Maybe that is just a free community. Maybe that is a Facebook Live once a week. It's a theme. Maybe that is a blog post once a week. maybe that's like your theme for everything. Your theme for your challenge groups, your helping women feel confident and beautiful, whatever.
Yeah.
Something.
I think you should come up with your own sorority, like Alpha Beta No Pi or something.
I was blogging for a while when I first started, but like when I first started this business, but it got to this point where I felt like I was creating busy work for myself. So instead of like diving into messaging, I was working on these blog posts, and I've like, so I got away from that, but I just feel like that's the easiest way for me to communicate to people is through my writing. It's easier for me to write down, like filling out your questionnaire was so much easier for me than me right now trying to express to you how I feel, if that makes sense. Yeah.
You just have to make sure the blog post gets seen. So you have to share it to your Facebook profile, your Facebook like page, or you have to, take a section of it and repost it on your Facebook. And then for, in comments below, you can see the entire blog post. You have to just drive traffic to your blog. Or you make a video from that blog post. Like that's like the repurposing content is what they call it. And then your blog post, for the most part, like people just don't read really long blog posts. So you just have to experiment with that too. You might have to give stuff away. You just might have to do some things to just get people there. But yeah, you can blog all day, but if people don't read it, they don't see it, then it is a waste of time. So less is more. You don't have to blog a lot, but you need to be blogging on a regular basis. So at least I would say if that is your strength, I would be doing it at least twice a week, but they need to be amazing and they need to be to a certain tribe. And then you need to be sharing that. So if you have a community, or even if you're in another group, you're in a group of freelance writers and you write a post that you feel like would serve everyone in there, can you share that into that group? Experiment with things like that. It's just getting eyeballs on it and then starting conversations and talking to people. The last thing is a tough question probably for you, but it's an important question, and that is how do you perceive this business? What is your perception of what this business opportunity is?
Oh my gosh, that is a tough question.
What does it mean to you? What is your perception of it?
Oh gosh. For me, it's really a place to go when I don't have anything else, if that makes sense. Like when my relationship is a mess, when my freelance writing business is a mess, when everything is a mess, like it's somewhere I can go and I'm myself. Like that's the perception of it. It's like this bubble of like where I go. And I think that that's kind of also what's holding me back, because instead of being it's really hard for me to explain. Instead of being this all encompassing type thing, it's become this place where I go to feel better instead of a business to make my life better. I don't know if that makes sense, but is that answering the question?
The main thing that you said is that it's a place you can go to be me, a place I can go to be me and to feel better about who I am, having clarity in who I am. So I guess it does answer the question, but I guess I would want you to answer it more in the aspect of an elevator pitch. In other words, the what is it that you do question, the nuts and bolts of what is it that you do. I don't like to ask it that way because I don't want you to say, I help people get healthy and fit. I want you to answer it in a way that is, why do you really do this? Like, what is your perception of this?
Oh, absolutely. Pouring as much positivity as I can into everybody that I meet in my entire life. That is what I do.
Okay.
That's what I try to do, at least. Pouring positivity and making as many people feel important and that they matter and that their life matters as I can. As cliche as that sounds.
So the reason I think that's better, I think that, or I don't think, but this is your message.
Okay.
And that's how you take all the white noise and just go right there. Okay. So however you want to reword that, like you're the copywriter, right? But pouring positivity into as many women as possible, helping them feel important, letting them know they matter, letting them know their life matters, maybe taking it a step further and breaking that down as to what that really means. Because your message is basically what you want to be leading with in everything that you do. So it needs to be your Facebook banner. People need to look at your Facebook banner, and I haven't looked at yours, but they need to look at that and they need to like get you and your message and who you are and what you do. And then everything that you do, so every blog post, every video, in most of your copy, you need to be leading with that. Here's who I am and what I'm passionate about and how I help people. Today we're talking about this.
Okay.
So you just have to connect that with the business. Because if you're looking for people who want to build a business, at the end of the day, you're looking for people who either want to make an income or they want to build a legacy, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to figure out where that connects into your message. Pouring positivity into others that's great. Feeling important, letting them know they matter and that their life matters. So I would just take that a step further and connect those dots of how the business could help them get there. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So I think that these are just ideas, but I would start with one and map it out and create a to-do list for yourself of like how many times you want to go live, how many blog posts you want to write each week, what those topics are. Bucket your people, if you can, into groups, Facebook groups of people or lists on paper or Excel spreadsheet or like, you know what I mean? You really need to do that. Does this help you kind of understand where your strengths are and maybe where you're falling short in delivering?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I have a clear message. After you said that, I don't think I have a clear message. And I think I have a person in my head that I'm talking to, but I don't even know if that person is on my social media. So it could be out there for people to read and then no one's reading it.
And that person is you. That's a misconception. I mean, when you write copy, are you writing to yourself?
I'm writing to realtors right now. So
when you write for yourself, though, like when you're writing a social media post, you're really writing to yourself, right? Maybe
absolutely.
Who you were a year ago or 6 months ago or whatever, right? So that's really it. So like at the end of the day, when you first start, you do have to talk to everybody and you do have to show the business to everybody, but then that just runs dry, and it runs dry quick. But what you did up to this point is exactly what you were supposed to do, and that's how you help your new coaches as well go through their warm market, run challenge groups, discount coaches, like all that. But then when you run out of that, then everybody's just kind of like this. And believe me, I get it. So at the end of the day, you want to, like I said, not only you want to be a leader, you want to be positioned as a leader. So the only way to do that really is to just take your strengths and transfer them over. They're not only going to help you attract the right people, because if you were to attract freelance writers as coaches, would you have this like understood like brain and talk, and wouldn't you be able to help them write their social media posts and their copy? And like, it would be so much easier, wouldn't it, if you were to build, or the theater, or, you know, whatever, like, yeah. Or you got a team of brides to do a boot camp, like, because you have that in common. So it not only helps you attract those people, but you want to be a leader to your team. So you are never going to be awesome at what Lisa's awesome at. That's just not how this works. Mm-hmm. You can only be awesome at what you've been doing the past 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, and taking it over to this. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you have the copywriting skills, the social media skills, you have the blog post skills, you have the video skills, you have a passion in you to pour positivity into others. You were in a sorority. Like, those are all awesome things that when people join your team, you are now giving them those experiences. So my team is strong at what I'm strong at because I constantly teach them how to do what I know how to do so well.
Yeah.
Are they ever going to be as good as me at it? Probably no. I was in management for 13 years. Like, all I did was a lot of interviewing people.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of one of the big skills I took over into this business, was like interviewing people. Mm-hmm. There's many levels of interviewing people, not just interviewing them to become a coach. Like, what we're doing right now is an interview.
Yeah. At the beginning of this, it's funny you say that, because I literally was like, wow, I feel like I'm interviewing a job right now.
I was thinking that too. I was like, this is kind of like an interview.
I know.
I'm just taking notes.
Yeah.
And so, like, you would do this different, and that's okay, but that's the whole point. You have to feel like you don't have to run this business like me or like Lisa. You have to run it like you, and the only way you're going to lead is to find these people and then teach your team how to do this. Your team should know how to write long copy. They should know what the hell pain points are and how to identify them. If not, you need to be teaching that.
Okay.
All I do is teach. Like, there's nothing special. When I learn something, I turn around and I teach it. And most people don't do that. They hold it in, and I don't know, whatever. So teach your team what you know how to do, and let them know, like, these are my strengths. This is what I'm good at. I'm going to teach you guys how to do this, and let people know that join your team, you know, and then find more people in this field, and it will be easier. The business will be easier because they'll be your people. They'll share your brain. It will.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yay.
Questions?
As far as platform goes, so right now Facebook is my main platform, and then I have a Facebook like page, and I've really been like delving into Instagram, because I feel like a lot of creative types gravitate towards Instagram because of its visual, you know, that it's all about visuals. So I guess the biggest is strategy. So I'm working from like a Power Hour tracker right now. Does that strategy, should I just keep that strategy while finding people and crafting my message?
I think that, and Lisa can jump in here, but like, I think that in where you're at right now, like, the most important thing is creating content, awesome content,
okay,
and then talking to people. That's it. Like, I'm creating my own Power Hour tracker. So, like, let's say you sit down and you create a blog post that's how to write copy. I don't know, whatever.
Right.
You take that blog post, like I said, and you can share it out there, but can you take a piece of it and now turn it into a social media post? And then, like it's the same piece of content, but you edit it a little bit to go up on Facebook, and you edit it a little bit to go over on Instagram, and you edit it a little bit to make a live out of it. And maybe you don't spread it into 3 platforms, but you don't need to make 4 pieces of content to go across all these platforms that's reaching nobody.
Yeah.
Because you're not targeting people, the right people. So I would say too, like the most important thing is your content, and then make sure you have a community group, like a free community for whatever, freelancers, or what was the other one? Theater, or like Lisa said, come up with your own sorority. Like that's awesome. That's an awesome idea around health and fitness, or around like positive women or confident women or something. And then add people to that community, and then go in that community and kick butt. Be in there every day or every other day, and be adding people to it on a regular basis, and just start messaging people. So it's doing probably less, but doing more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's strategy. It's strategy. And then you can do all this, and then in 30 days be like, okay, this didn't work, and this didn't work. Like this worked. I need to do more of this. Everything takes time, for sure. Social media takes time, but less is more. Maybe Instagram, I'm actually hiring someone to build an academy for our team that we probably won't get access to that till January. So, I mean, maybe Instagram is something you do 30 days from now. Like you need to take everything you want to do, Sapphire, and look at breaking it down into what's the most important thing right now, what's the biggest bang for my buck right now, and then brain dump, plan of action, 30 days, and give this to Lisa and have her hold you accountable to what you write down for yourself. But doing a mindless power hour tracker is a mindless power hour tracker. As Lisa, sometimes you do one post and you get people, and you're like, and yeah. So, I mean, and it was with intention. So you know exactly how you attracted them. You know exactly what attracted them. And then it's just doing more of that.
Okay.
So
absolutely.
Just make sure you're still talking to people and messaging people, or however you're starting conversations with people. So you're not just creating content, but you're doing both. And measure it hard in 30 days and make adjustments from there. And then teach your team how to do the same thing,
Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, I hope that was helpful.
Absolutely. That was very helpful. Thank you so much. It was very nice to talk to you.
You too. Good luck. Let me know how this goes.
Yeah, Courtney actually signed up when I was at the airport going to coach camp like 2 years ago. I was headed to Chicago. I was sitting at like this little coffee shop, and we did our little phone call, and she signed up. So it's like Kristina said, like I'll never be good at mastering what Kristina's good at. And so that's why I was like, okay, we got to get you on the phone call with Kristina, because I know she has different ideas that I have. And I never even thought about like the freelance thing. Like we've talked about the bride stuff, and I'm like, duh, why did I think of that? So I'm excited. We got some new stuff to work on, and 2 sapphires holding each other accountable. Let's go.
And the third one over here. 3 sapphires.
I was going to say, my scatterbrain is already everywhere.
Like,
so.
If we didn't record this, I would have no idea what I said 5 minutes from now. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I have all these notes, and I'm going to have to rewatch the recording to remember.
Yeah. So, and when you're creative like this, that's your drive. Like I'm creative. So the minute I'm bored or the minute that I'm just like, I don't know what to talk about, then I just need to not be working. Like I need to not just like forget it, because that's where the best stuff comes from us.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that's really too what's been holding me back is it's just like it's not the fun anymore. It's like sitting down and doing the power hour. And I think people feel that.
Yeah, totally. Totally. All right. Well, good luck. Keep in touch. Let me know how it works.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you again.
Bye, guys.